stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I'm interested in what, because this is your industry, you know what I mean? Like, this is your passion. So, like, who do you listen to, and what sort of, what sort of streams of information do you like? So that's what I've been thinking about this all day. What do you want to listen to?
All right, well, I love a good fight. The Joe Rogan Experience.
Excellent podcast.
It's got to be my number one.
All three of
He
us
just
love
did his
that
1,000th episode.
Wow.
And
He's killing it. He's great.
And it was the first one I ever heard.
Yep.
And it made me... this is basically a copy of his show. What I like about him is, though I don't smoke weed anymore, it's been a long, long time since I played up. He loves a good fight. He knows about weed, and he's a comedian.
He's very honest.
But he's a very rounded sort of person.
Absolutely.
So, but he has no qualms getting a brain surgeon in and just asking all the dumb questions.
Yep.
Though he's much more, asks way better questions.
Oh, he's pretty learned, isn't he? Like, he's definitely looked up his stuff, and that's why he's got those people on, because he's fascinated about those things and wants more interaction with those people about it. Really good podcast.
It's the best.
Really
and then I'd like to go off road, man. I love a good laugh.
Yeah.
Like the Legion of Skanks.
I've never heard that one.
The Legion of Skanks with
What's
Big
that?
J Okerson, Louis J Gomez. There's basically guys like you, three mates who've known each other forever, started a podcast 5 years ago.
Yeah.
They're doing what... so Matt G, Rika and I were talking about this just before, and I've been talking about this for a couple of months. We want to do this podcast in a bar soon.
Cool.
Every Monday night, which is basically copying what the Legion of Skanks do. They do it on an off night when no one's there.
Yep.
But it became a thing. Like, we're still doing exactly what we're doing. Everyone's around, but
you want sort of
it's just a funny show, and because there's an audience there, we would all be slightly playing to the audience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not cheeseball, but you know how we've been doing a business podcast almost right now.
Yeah.
Well, I know that if I was to get you back tomorrow or next month, we wouldn't be doing that same podcast.
Absolutely, yeah.
We'd be telling some stories.
Yeah.
Like, dude, last week.
That's what I was hoping
we feel
we were
like
going to
we're
do tonight, yeah.
It's nature.
Yeah.
Nature.
We'll have
The
to
first
come
time
back.
you come in, I'm trying to find out who you are. You're trying to find out who are we? But we've shared a moment with headphones on. Next time, you're like, dude, last week.
You wouldn't believe it.
So these guys have been doing... They're just a lot like you, actually.
Legion of Skank.
The Legion of Skanks.
Great name.
They call it the most offensive podcast.
Oh, that's a big call.
Funnily enough, yeah, but there's a lot. It's a balance. It really is.
Can I share one with you?
They do things like they. Oh no, I'm not even going to say it. Look it up.
If you're saying like you like not offensive humor, but like stuff that is just a bit over, very dark, but still very funny, but
like honest.
Yeah. There's an awesome one. Have you ever heard New York City Crime Report? Oh my God, it's hilarious. It's awesome. Basically, this comedian called Pat Dixon, okay? As a comedian, like he does his own stuff, but this radio podcast show, all he does is he goes through each sort of incident in the news in New York City, right? And he just goes through it, and some of the stuff that comes out, it's amazing. Like, just some of the crazy, the crazy things that happen in New York. Wow. But like, he'll get lawyers in as guests, and it's almost like, okay, so imagine what two lawyers would actually say if they knew no one else was listening about, or what a police officer and a lawyer would say about, the reality of it all, like, because you're desensitized to it.
Yeah.
So it's really
like
quite
ambulance
amazing.
Guys and that.
Oh, you've so got to listen to this one. It's so funny. Just the insane people, and his comedy on it though is just really dry. You all of a sudden
I've heard him on other shows. Like,
oh my God! No, honestly, like if you
you
gotta
New York City Crime Report.
It's very funny. It's so good.
Great, love it.
Yeah, so get into it. It's very addictive.
Yeah.
So. Oh, don't get me on to more.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely listen to that tonight.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, champs.
No, thank you. That's awesome.
We'll be there. We're going to come in this.
Let's organise it.
Yes, I would love to
thanks,
have
man.
Please.
Yeah, thanks, Rory.
We should get
you were the first one who I found somehow. I think you were advertising. You were sharing it, and I clicked on your name, and we've got 42 mutual friends. I'm like, who the hell are you?
Man.
Again,
and so really small circles.
So thanks
here
for
on the
that,
coast.
and thanks for taking the chance dude.
Oh, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. Awesome to be here.
And so 6 months,
Thanks
we'll come
for the
back
guest.
and
Yeah.
have a good time again.
Yeah, we're up for it.
Definitely.
All right, where do we find you?
So go to our website, which is www, all the W's, you got 3 of them.
Glad you said those W's so we knew.
Yeah, absolutely. Lumberpunks.com. So lumberpunks.com, that's our website. You go to our
Nice
Facebook.
American website.
Absolutely.
Just like this one?
Just a generic,
That's good. You got in there. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I know.
It was easy to find. Like, I just went to Google and typed in Lumberpunks, and I think it was the first one on the search engine.
It took us a while to sort of get those things working right, and the more traffic that goes through it sends it up the search thing. But so lumberpunks.com, and also go to the Facebooks, which is Lumberpunks GC. So we couldn't get. Sorry, what's that?
Same with Instagram as well.
Yeah, same with the Instagrams. It's Lumberpunks GC. We couldn't get. So believe it or not, how's this? We couldn't get Lumberpunks for the Facebook and the Instagram because there's a guy up in Brisbane called Lumberpunks and he does furniture.
Why don't you do Lumberpunks Australia?
Outdoor furniture.
Yeah, believe it or not. Like,
You got to get him to do your furniture in the place.
well, that'd be awesome.
Oh, it could be your
Must
mate.
be getting all these emails.
It could be your
going,
mate.
Oh man, I'm kicking off. This is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't need to be your enemy. He could be your mate on this deal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So like,
So either way, like,
bizarre though. Like after we secured the name, then we're sort of going, oh cool, yeah, Lumberpunks stuff. Just like, who's
could've
this
been-
guy
it
up in
could've been-
Brisbane?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, yeah.
but
like-
can't you do Australia? Because aren't you going to like franchise and branch out? And,
Yeah. So we'll do, this one's technically called Lumberpunks Gold Coast.
Gold Coast, yeah.
And then the next one will be Lumberpunks blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
then Lumberpunks blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, so that's...
Make sure you get a
How the
good.
hell do you do that?
Do what?
Could you? Are you frightened by the concept? Sorry, Rika.
Not at all.
No, like there's where I work here. I'm just realizing now. Yeah, it's great. Whoa. You get to a certain point where it all becomes super busy.
Yeah.
And then you have to give that. You're probably great on the mic running these shows. There's going to become a time where like you got to offload that.
Yep.
To go to Sydney and open up the other one and start thinking
But the
franchise.
beauty
But
of
you
it is
look at
there's 3 of them.
The right people.
Yeah.
You need
It's
the
all
right
about
people.
personality.
Yeah.
You
Do you
know what I'm
I mean?
saying?
You
It
can
doesn't
te-
frighten you
You
at
can teach anyone
all.
to throw an axe. It's just, you know when you meet someone, you know they have something. When I used to hire people when I was managing restaurants and bars, I'd have some pretty funny questions that I'd ask them, but we won't go there. But I would
That's
have
another podcast,
I would have a
Drew.
5 yeah. I'd have a 5-minute conversation. I'd know whether I'm going to hire that person, regardless of their experience. Just purely the way that they spoke to me, the way that they talked. You know what it's like, man. You meet someone, you go, "Hey, this person's
They look
got
in their eyes and
something.
all that sort of stuff,
They can
yeah.
communicate. They're interesting. They can.
They're
keep
engaging.
attention. They're engaging.
That's what you want.
That's what it is. You know, and we
Because
know
you can
heaps of
teach,
people like that.
as Sam said, you can teach someone to do these things, and you can sort of hope that they've got a mind for it. But the hardest thing to teach people is personality. You can't teach someone how to interact with other people. That's what you want. So
Yeah.
really important.
Yeah.
Any more questions? I've still got another question.
That's all right.
I got heaps of questions. But I'm having a bit of
I've been talking the
difficulty.
whole time.
No, you haven't. You haven't. You've been really, really good.
Well, thanks.
You've been a
Thanks,
great
Rika.
host. You've been an excellent host.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys.
Look, because I mean, I've done radio before, so I sort of know what's going on, and Roy's done some, but Sam was like, "How does this work? Like, how do you not talk over each other?" And so, like, you don't realise those things are sort of a bit confronting, but I mean, like, you drove it, you drive this podcast well, you know, like,
You do.
Actually,
it
think
is.
I'm
It's a
getting
skill.
worse at it.
No, man.
I've been too negative today.
No.
One question,
Yep.
okay? Because I feel like I'm from your world. I was in the Castle Theatre restaurant for.
We are the
while.
castle.
Yeah, man.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we know lots of the same people,
Oh,
right?
no way.
Yeah, then and set up Utopia. Remember
Yeah,
that lasted
yeah,
for
yeah.
a little bit. That was the yeah.
Yeah. Now I understand.
Right.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. So rock and roll, pubs, gigging, showgirls, show life, the partying. It's good to see some guys who are. Did you ever fall into that at any stage in your lives where you were, you've known each other for a long
Oh,
time?
like all the wildlife of the
Yeah.
Gold Coast.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Well, I don't think.
No,
That's what I think.
honestly, like, but believe it or not, like I mean, for me, I don't like drinking really. Like I'll have a beer, but I don't like going out and getting drunk. And I don't like drunk people as well. I like people that are having a drink. I cannot stand people that are just over that bit where they're starting to slur. I just don't have time for it. So yeah, for me personally, no, I never sort of got into it. Before I was 18, absolutely. By the time I was 18, I didn't want to go into a pubs because I'd been there for 4 years already. You know what I mean? At that time, so now I'm very quiet, very quiet guy.
Same.
A little bit similar to Tyson. When I was young, I did all of that. And, did it all and thought I was awesome and thought I was invincible. And then I travelled. When I got to about 22, I packed my bags and I started travelling the world and meeting people and learning about culture and learning about the stuff they don't teach you at school and the way that people are and the way that the world is. And then started appreciating things a little bit and seeing things differently, And then chilled out and then had a family and, yeah.
Rory?
I much prefer it this way.
I said before that I love beer, and I do love beer, and I love. But I'm the same as Tyson. Like I love having a drink, but I don't like drunk people. I've got no tolerance for it either. I think it's just from years of being that other guy behind the bar, serving those people and dealing with people that are disrespectful and. But I mean, but then again, being a touring musician as well, like you sort of. That's part of the whole thing is,
Why? Why is it... I was having this talk the other day, and it's like, why...
Well, you get to a venue. You get to a venue in the afternoon, okay, so you get to the venue, you load all your gear in, you get ready for sound check, and then, you've got nothing to do for like 3 or 4 hours, and then so like you just end up sitting there having a drink, and then you get some food.
Loads of waiting around.
And there's lots of waiting around. Like I can remember getting absolutely shit-faced between Adelaide and Melbourne driving after on tour because I drank 2 bottles of red wine on that because I was bored.
But it's just funny, like how that.
And I had no Wi-Fi.
Why is that it's almost like a cliche now. It's almost, why is that the ideal? Like when people think of rock star, they usually think of a burnt out alcoholic. Just wasted. You know what I mean? Like,
I totally agree. I prefer to go and find a decent coffee now. I just want to go find a decent coffee and have a bit of Avo on toast. I might sound like I'm fucking hipster.
It's funny,
but
you're right.
I just want to have a nice breakfast. I want to have a nice coffee. I want to, and in the afternoon, I still want coffee. And one of my favourite tour diaries that I read is Kin from 12 Foot Ninja. Whenever they go on tour in America, he's like every day it's the quest to find a decent coffee. And like he's not talking about debaucherous nights where they're sniffing coke off of fucking titties of strippers and everything like that. He's talking about waking up in a different city and trying to find a decent coffee and getting ready for the show.
It's like rock and roll is gone 50 years now. Yeah. Everyone knows like, oh dude, if you're around someone who's wasted all the time.
Do you think
there was that sweet spot where Rolling Stones like, yeah, we're so wasted, whatever.
I'm convinced that Keith Richards is sponsored by like drug cartels and I reckon that he actually died a couple of times where he's been cloned so that people go, oh, see, drugs aren't too bad. Like he's been doing it for how many years now? He's 80 and so he's fine now. So yeah, guys, you can still take drugs and then,
every time you smoke a cigarette, Keith Richards gets 5 minutes on the end of his life.
Is that how it works?
I swear to God, it's a genetic thing. I swear to God, because, hey, like I'm a really, really heavy drinker. Like I drink shitloads, but I'm not an alcoholic.
Yeah.
I know I'm not an alcoholic because
the first step is admitting it.
I know. Is that what's going on? No, because I know alcoholics. They get up in the morning. They don't even crave for one. They already have one hidden away for, that first drink in the morning. I don't do that. But when I do drink, I can actually drink, like a whole bottle of tequila in one sitting. Mind you, it's a long night.
For everybody.
You're the only person I know that can do that.
I know.
A high five to you.
But I don't know, sometimes my brain does...
It's genetics.
Well, that's what I think. I think some people are more prone to being addicted to stuff. Some people are more prone to getting aggressive when they drink, but some people are more prone to being a horrible drunk and,
And that's what we love about Lumberpunks is that it's proof in the pudding that you don't